or to computer. All right, so we are recording. Today is October 16th, 2018. And if you're watching this, I want you guys to grab a piece of paper because we're going to do a little example. But while you're getting paper and a pen, I want to tell you.
Pencil and Post-it make, okay.
Yep, whatever you need to write with.
That's what I got right.
All right, might need something a little bit bigger than a Post-it note because what you're writing is going to be longer. So good luck.
I don't know where there's a notebook in my house at this point.
Just a piece of copy paper.
Yeah, a piece of copy paper from a printer maybe. Something like
Which
that.
is downstairs at the other end of the house.
Good thing you have a mobile phone. That's why they're mobile.
I'm going to use the backside of my Halloween trunk or treat schedule.
Perfect. That will work. All right, so I'm going to put everybody on mute for a second while I go through here and just do a very quick training that Abby just taught me. So for those of you who are not aware, Abby is new. She's doing her first virtual party, and one of the things that she found out is when you are watching your posts on a page, you'll see that it says seen by 3, or when you go down to other posts here, it'll say 4 commented or seen by 5. But when you hover over it, you're going to see not seen by 51. So what that means is that Facebook is not allowing people to see all of the things that are in this group. So I am going to take a screenshot of this to tell my hostesses that. And what you need to do is you need to post this, which is how to change your notifications. Let me put all this stuff away. How to change your notifications so that people can go in and have their notifications set to see all of the posts. And the reason you want that is because if they see all the posts, then they're not going to miss the stuff that you're posting, which I think is fabulous. So I think I'm going to make sure that my hostess actually posts this. Maybe this is something that we give to our hostesses for host coaching. Because when the hostess posts something, more people see it. So I think I might actually do that on my current show. So welcome Linda and Tammy and Barbara, Abby, Christine, and gosh, we got a good crew on today. All right. So the first thing I told you guys that I was going to talk about tonight is multitasking. So how many of you guys, by the raise of a hand, think that you're a pretty good multitasker? Like you think, all right, yeah, I can multitask and do pretty well. All right, I'm going to assume Barbara had her hand up because we can't see Barbara. I thought I was a great multitasker, and I always joke that God speaks to me in 3s. So last year, I was very frustrated with my business because I was not getting as much accomplished as I thought I should. And being this long in the business. So I went to go get tested for ADD because I was sure that that was my problem. After going through all this testing, for a couple days worth of testing, the results came back, and what they said was that I have a very high IQ, but that my processing speeds are so fast, faster than actually the lady who was testing me, that I go back and forth between activities so quickly that I do it seamlessly, and it doesn't seem like it's a big deal to me. But every time you go back and forth between one activity to another, your brain has to stop what it's doing, move over to another activity, and come back. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to write on a piece of paper, and I'm going to get my little timer clock going, and I want you to, when you are done writing it, raise your hand, okay? So I'm going to, when I say go, you are going to write the numbers 1 through 20, okay? Ready, set, go. Okay, so somewhere between 17 and 19 seconds for you guys to do that, all right? So now we're gonna do it a second time. But the way you're gonna do it is when I say go, you're gonna write the number 1, And then underneath that, you're going to write an M, and we're going to spell out the word multitasking. So it's going to be M, 1M, 2U. Okay, so you're going to go back and forth between those letters, spelling multitasking. Ready? Go. Okay, so the difference was the first time around, you guys were somewhere between 16 and 19 seconds. The second time around, you were between 20 and 29 seconds. So what happens is your brain has to stop what it's doing and start back, and then stop what it's doing and start back and stop what it's doing. So that was the first time I had heard about it when I went and got tested for ADD. Then at director conference, they did this multitasking test with us at national conference at a director meeting. And then I just came back from Pennsylvania. And on the way to Pennsylvania, the day before we left, we were asked to listen to the One Thing podcast. And I'm not sure if I posted it on our team page, but if not, I will definitely go back and post it because it was really, really good. And he talked about how important it is for you to not just clear your desk, which I have to do, because things that are non-essential on your desk take up space in your head, okay? Because you're thinking, oh, I need to clean that, I need to take care of that. So it's taking up space in your head, but that you need to stay to task on one thing. So if you're on this Zoom call, you should not be folding laundry, you should not be doing dishes or something else. You should be paying attention to this one thing. And then when this is done, then you can do something else. Now, there are times where you could be listening to music and multitasking because you don't need to be retaining the information. But I'm sure many of you guys have been doing, maybe you had to write a paper or something like that for school, and you're in the process of drafting a paper, or maybe it's just an email, and then the phone rings. For a split second, your mind stops what you're doing while you're writing, and you're thinking, am I going to answer the phone call? Then you look to see who it is. Now your brain's determining, do I need to take this call? Now, if you don't take the call, you go back to writing your email. Do you start where you were, or do you read it from the beginning all the way down to make sure that your sentence makes sense as you keep going, right? Now, as you're finished writing this long email or this paper, the back of your mind is somewhere thinking about, oh, don't forget to call Tammy back. I was supposed to call Tammy this afternoon. Maybe I should write that down so I don't forget it. So your mind is working on other things. So multitasking, they have proven, is somewhere between 28% and 40% of your time is wasted. So if you could get back an extra 28 to 40% of your day and be more productive in the shorter periods of time that you work, wouldn't you want to do that? So when I learned this task about, like, I wasn't ADD, no medicine was going to fix my easy distractions. I joke, I'm like a squirrel. Then I needed to come up with systems that worked for me. So one of the first things I did right away is I shut my notification sounds on my telephone for texting and for Facebook Messenger off. So when you text me, I do not get a ping, because what happens when you're in the middle of typing something out, even if it's an email at your work, it goes ping, and your mind is like, I have to see who it is. I got to know who's calling me. I got to know what's going on. Same thing when Facebook pings. Unless I am going in to check a Facebook show, I do not want to hear all those pings. You do not need to respond to every Facebook notification as soon as the notifications happen. The other thing I did was, so just so you guys know, I always tell people, if you need to reach me and you've texted me and I don't respond, and you still really need to reach me, just phone me, because my phone will ring unless I accidentally have it on Do Not Disturb, which what I've been videoing recently, I've been putting it on Do Not Disturb so I don't get phone calls in the middle of my Facebook Live. And so my daughter's been like, I called you 3 times, you didn't answer. But learning systems on how to stay to task, okay? So it's going to be really important for you to be able to run an effective business if you can have good time management skills. And that's one of the skills that I think is going to be very important, is learning what to do with your time. Now, one of the things that I did when I was setting a goal is the year that I was trying to earn the top level trip to Spain, France, and Italy on that Mediterranean cruise for my husband and I. It was all expense paid and it was free. And I was just a consultant. I was just like all of you guys that are on there, other than Christine, because she has lots of recruits on her team. I had no recruits on my team. I had never recruited anybody. I just was doing some shows. And I was like, I need to earn this trip. What do I need to do it? So for me, what worked for me was setting rules. So my rule was I was not allowed to watch television at night until I had gotten my work done during the day. And the only exception I made to that is I was allowed to watch the Patriots play football, but I had to have my laptop on my desk or on my lap at the time. And while I was watching that, I was sending out thank you emails. They were things that I could just copy and paste. Thank you for your order on Kathy's show. If you'd like, I literally had a standard email and all I had to do is put in the person's name. And it was copy and paste. I would open up one page that had all the guests that had ordered from one hostess, and I would just send them a personalized email. I now can show you a faster way of doing that, right from the show page. But I didn't know that. Back then, I don't think there was one. That was like 7 years ago. So I had to copy and paste thank you emails. So during the Patriots game, I was doing thank you emails, and those were the only times those ever went out anyway. But I had to make rules that I would not do other things. And so sometimes that meant my house didn't get vacuumed. That meant dinner sometimes didn't get cooked. Now, if you have small kids, that doesn't go over well. DCYS will come and get your kids. You have to feed them. So you need to plan. So I began learning that I'm a morning person. I'm not a night owl. So using a crock pot was a thing to do, or double cooking and freezing a bunch of my soups, stews, and chilies so that if I had one of those nights, I could tell them it's either a cereal night or it was a, crock pot night or it's leftovers. So figuring out your personality. If you're a night owl, maybe you do it at night and you cook extra batches of things like that, or you prep on a Saturday or Sunday so you're ready for the whole week. Some of the other time management things that I thought was helpful as time went by was, and it's funny, again, that podcast you're going to hear. When you are, I'm going to grab a piece of paper and draw a little picture for you. Excuse my art form here. When you are working, what happens is you start off okay, and then you start to lose attention span and your productivity starts to wane, right? If you do that, if you are working, and let's say you're cramming for an exam he talks about, and you're like, I'm going to cram for 5 hours. This then looks like what your curve is going to look like. It just gets worse because you get so fatigued that you're not really retaining any information. Well, what he told us is, I'm going to grab a marker, that if you work for about 20 minutes, and then you take a break, and then you work for about 20 minutes, and you take a break, and then you work for about 20 minutes, and you take a break, and you work for about 20 minutes, and you take a break, then your curve looks more like this. So you start and you get really good productivity at the beginning, and then it starts to peter out. So then you get up and you go get a drink of water or a cup of coffee, or you do a couple jumping jacks, or for me, it's taking my dog out, my golden retriever that you guys see all the time. She is constantly woofing, and it's a good thing because then you get back and then you start again and you get really productive, and then you go here. Now, you don't always start off at the top. As your day goes by, your energy level and your attention span goes down, but you see how much further I have accomplished rather than just going right off. And so they did studies of kids that are studying for exams and stuff like that. And those people that cram for exams actually don't retain as much information or do as well as those that study in shorter stints. So having said that, how do we apply that to our business? So I'm going to let you guys, I'm going to unmute you guys.
You just muted you, I think.
I did. It just popped up and said you're muted. That was weird. I was going around unmuting everybody and it muted me. Linda, you're going to have to unmute yourself. I tried to unmute you twice and it wouldn't unmute you. There you go. Okay, so what things do you think would be good 20-minute activities that you could do, that you could block everything out? What are some of the big rocks that we need to accomplish in our business that you would want to block out?
Checking in on your parties.
Yes. So virtual party check-ins. I'm going to write these down. Check-ins. So that might be something like, get up in the morning. If you have small kids, get them on the bus, get them fed, whatever, and then get them into an activity if they're really small. And then you sit down with your phone and you check all of your virtual parties for about 20 minutes, going into each party, checking who's commented and commenting back, and then tagging people. And then doing that again at noon, and then doing that again after dinner. If you have time, one more time at night. What other activities?
Can I just say how I like to do things?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. I like to start with a to-do list so that I check off things that I know I need to get done business-wise. So like if I have to make some phone calls, I'll get that done. And then I'll go do dishes or vacuum. I have a list of housework that needs to get done and a list of business that needs to get done. So I'll alternate between the two, and I find myself to be a lot more productive that way and getting a lot more accomplished that way.
So I'm really glad that she mentions that, because to-do lists are on his podcast, and it's from the book The One Thing. And what the whole book talks about is, if there was one thing that you needed to do that by doing so made all other things irrelevant or less important or maybe non-existent, what would that one thing be? So you have to think in the large term. What is your big rock each day that you must get accomplished? So that should go on the top of your list. So that if all you got done all day long was one business activity, was it reaching out to your new consultants? Was it recruiting new people and talking to 5 new recruit leads? Was it you need bookings, so it was getting some bookings on your calendar or reaching out to people? What is the one big rock on your daily checklist that you need to do? And that should be first on your list, and here's why. Your willpower as the day goes by wanes. That's why people who do meal plans, or people who have prepped food and vegetables and things like that in their fridge, tend to stay on meal plans better, because as the day goes by and your energy level kind of starts to do this and your willpower goes down, then you'll grab, I don't know where I put it, but I have a whole bag of Payday candy bars that I was using to put into my recruiting packages. And I ate one when I got home tonight, because I was like, they're right there and I'm hungry, and I ate a Payday rather than an apple, which is downstairs. So as the day progresses, you become less and less structured to be able to do the harder things. So there's another book out there called Eat the Frog. And it's basically, you got to eat the frog first. You just got to get that down, because once that's down, everything else can get done. And if everything else doesn't get done, the one big thing that you needed to get done that day is done. So that's really good, Christine. All right, what are some other things that you need to, business activities? And I often say they need to be income producing activities. So filing and those type of things do not produce income. So sometimes you need to do those things, but those are not first on your list of you have to get it done. The way the podcast talks about it is, once you get the thing done on your list, then you've earned the right to put another thing on the list to check off. That just checking things off your list, if you have them in different orders, meaning the most important is not at the top, creates a dopamine reaction in you, which is what happens when you like take drugs or get an adrenaline rush or whatever. And crossing things off a checklist gives you a dopamine hit. So he's saying you're having a false feeling of accomplishment. Whereas if you could get that one really big rock off of the pile, you've actually accomplished something. So what other income producing activities do we as Pampered Chef consultants do?
Recruits.
We recruit. We talk to people about our business opportunity. And who do we normally talk to? Who are the most likely people?
You've got mail.
Is that you, Christine?
Me.
So who do you usually talk to about recruiting?
Family,
Family, yep.
Friends.
friends,
Who's your number
Coworkers.
one strongest recruit lead?
Hmm?
Who's your number one strongest recruit lead?
Hostess?
Yes, who said that? Tammy. 90% of people in Pampered Chef have hosted a show before. So if you're going to spend 20 minutes of dedicated time recruiting, you want to start with your past and future hostesses and making sure that you're offering them the business opportunity multiple times. Hey, I just want to let you know that one of the benefits of hosting a show is called a kit credit. A kit credit allows you to have $25 or $50 of your free product to go towards the cost of your kit. If you would like to use that, we'd be happy to get your business up and running, and we would be happy to take all the bookings that are coming off the show and start your business with that. So that is definitely one of the benefits of recruiting and host coaching. I muted you guys because there's a lot of background noise. So raise your hand and I'll unmute you. What else is a business income producing activity that you might need to do? Okay, Christine.
Get bookings.
Yes, bookings, because without bookings, people, we have no business. So you could be super busy, and I've got to tell you, one of the things that I heard was a really good piece of advice. New consultants, you really only need to be on the Pampered Chef website and our team page. There are 1,000 Facebook groups out there. You're going to get mucked down in a boatload of them with all kinds of great photos and images and all kinds of great stuff. Everything you need is on Marketing Imagery. You can grab it from there. If you do need a few others, there is the virtual Facebook party group, but you could spend hours in there wasting time looking for an image, okay? Everything you need is on Marketing Imagery on the Pampered Chef website, or our team page actually has a lot of the images that we have taken, those of us who use a lot of virtual parties, and we've put them into albums on our team page. So don't waste time scrolling Facebook. If you need something, ask for it, or check our albums. So booking, yes, we need bookings. So you want dedicated time to booking. Anything else you guys can think of? The only other thing I can think of that I think would might warrant, once you've gotten your recruiting and your booking, you know, once you've gotten those big rocks, like maybe Monday is, you know, you talk to recruits in the morning, or maybe every day for 10 minutes you focus in on recruiting. I don't know how you want to run your business, but after you've done your booking and your recruiting, I think product knowledge really needs to start coming into play. One of the things that I found when I first started Pampered Chef is that I would go to trainings and stuff like that, and they would talk about, like this last training, oh my gosh, they took an avocado and we no longer sell an avocado knife, right? So that's kind of a bummer because we used to sell it. It was really popular. They take an avocado and they cut all the way around it, and then they used, I call it the peanut butter and jelly knife. It's the scoop and spread. They used the soft part of the scoop, and it just scooped the avocado out. And I was like, I never thought of using that for another tool. Like, I am very like, this is what the tool does, so we use it for that. So when other people are like, oh, you can use it for this. And you'll see me when I do the pie class, I post pictures, and Pampered Chef used the mix and chop, and that was how they vented the pie, the top of the pie, and it was this beautiful flower. Then another one, they took the apple core, so it had a bunch of polka dots in it. Like, I don't think outside the box. So product knowledge, which again is all on the Pampered Chef website, is something that I think that you guys will need to invest in. And I think that me as your leader, we're meeting on Monday in November, because the first Tuesday in November is voting, so nobody's going to be on. So it's the first Monday of November, and normally that's my recipe night at my house if you live local, but we're actually going to be on Zoom, and we're going to go through product knowledge, and I'm going to pick up a tool, and I'm going to say, what is this? What do you use it for? What else can you use it for? How do you sell it? What do you say about it? And we're going to go through some of the tools because I think it's important for you guys to know the value of what we have so that when other people have it and you're talking about it at a show and somebody goes, oh, I didn't know you could use it for that. You just gave them value for showing up to your show because you taught them a cooking tip or you taught them about a tool that they already had that they can use in another way. Our job is to be consultants. We need to consult, so we need to help them. Okay, so we're going to work on that. Okay, so anything else anybody else wants to mention before I go on to the next part of our training, and then we can wrap up a little early? Nope? Okay. The other thing I'm hearing a lot of is a lot of new consultants are getting stuck inside their family and friend circle. They're having a really hard time breaking out and doing what I call out and about. Conversations with people outside of your normal realm, outside of the people that you see daily. So I was going to play you a video from this week's conference from Laura Polito. She did a whole talk on out and abouts, but the YouTube video has not been uploaded yet. So I will get that so you guys can watch it. But Laura and I are queen of out and about. So what does that mean? Laura used to be a horrifically shy person, and she is as outgoing as I am. So she started out really shy. So if you're shy, do not feel like I cannot do this business, because there are many, many quiet, shy people that have either remained quiet and shy and learned to work this business within their own personality, or some people like Laura who has come out of her shell and have become very outgoing. So an out and about, what does that look like? Well, for starters, if you want to wear logo gear, or on the Pampered Chef website, there is tote bags, catalog tote bags that you can buy. It fits a full-size catalog through a clear pocket, and you wear it over your shoulder like a purse or a tote, and you take it everywhere. You put your lunchbox in it. You put your library bags in it. I don't care what you put in it. I had girls using it as a diaper bag when they had diapers. Literally, because when people see a Pampered Chef catalog, they say, oh my God, Pampered Chef. They love Pampered Chef. And raise your hand if you've heard people say, oh my God, I love Pampered Chef, when they find out you're doing Pampered Chef. Yeah, it happens a lot. So here's what I want you to memorize. This is script. And I can post this. I've posted it before, but this is what I say when people say, oh my God, I love Pampered Chef. I say, when was the last time you hosted a show? We have so many new products in our catalog. I would be happy to send you the specials. When you see something you like, you just give me a shout. And then I hand them a mini catalog, and on it, it's got a Post-it note. It can be a plain Post-it note. A lot of my new consultants, I have these little pre-printed door prize slip Post-it notes. It has a place for name, address, phone number, and email. I hand it to them. They fill out their contact information. I take the Post-it note back. They take the mini catalog. Now, if you don't have a Post-it note on you, you grab your cell phone. All of us go everywhere with our cell phone, and you put them in. Now, Laura gave a brilliant idea on how she puts people into her phone. Now, I put them under the date that I met them. So if I met Tammy today, in my phone, it'll say Sam's Club Tammy, mail or catalog. And then if I don't get it done today, I just rotate it in my phone until I get that activity done. That's how I've been doing it. But Laura did this, and I thought this was great. She met this lady. She had just gotten her fancy nails done, and she forgot to take her ATM card out of her wallet. So she was standing with her wallet in the ATM waiting for somebody to show up. And when somebody shows up, she was like, could you pull my ATM card out of my wallet, please, to this lady? And the lady's like, what? She's like, I just got my nails done, and I don't want to ruin my nails. Do you mind pulling the green card out of the front? And the lady pulled it out, and so Laura got her money and stuff, and she was like, thank you so much. She's like, I'm on my way to go do a Pampered Chef show. Now she's always putting Pampered Chef into her conversations. I have to keep my nails great because I am a Pampered Chef consultant, or I'm on my way to a Pampered Chef show, or whatever. The lady's like, oh my God, I love Pampered Chef. They talked. Laura put her in her phone as ATM Sue. She ended up following up with ATM Sue. She ended up booking a show with ATM Sue. She's been doing shows for ATM Sue for about 6 years now. She calls, they're friends at this point. So she calls ATM Sue at 7:15 in the morning one day, and she's like, Sue, are you up? And she's like, Laura, what the hell are you calling me at this hour for? And she goes, I'm coming by your neighborhood. I thought we'd meet at Dunkin's for coffee. And she goes, I don't get out of bed this early for my husband, but for you, I'll meet you at Dunkin's. And so she threw on some sweatpants and they went out for a cup of coffee. And she said, we hardly talked to Pampered Chef other than the fact that she wanted the new catalog. But she said, I've been doing shows for ATM Sue for almost 6 years now, and we've now become friends. So I do the exact same thing. I am at Sam's Club, and there was a lady buying a boatload of coffee, and she was grinding it, you know, and I was like, you look for opportunities to start a conversation. Now, does every opportunity turn into a Pampered Chef conversation? No, but if you don't start practicing this, none of them will turn into a Pampered Chef conversation. Christine's a queen at it too. So the lady's putting all this coffee in, and I'm like, wow, that's a lot of coffee. I'm like, and I really like coffee. She's like, oh no, I'm doing it for my work. And I'm like, oh really, where do you work? So I just started a conversation. Where do you work? Oh, I work at here. Oh my God, I used to work at a printing company. We used to do printing for your company. Do you still know so-and-so? Oh yeah, he still works there. I'm like, oh my God, I know half the people that work there. I said, they don't know that I'm now a Pampered Chef consultant and that I'm not running that printing company. So there I go, slip Pampered Chef right in there. And she said, oh my God, I love Pampered Chef. And I said, why don't you take a catalog to work? Maybe some of the guys that I knew there could use some gifts for their wives for the holidays. If you collect $200 in orders, you're going to get one half price item, one 60% off bonus, and $20 free. What do you say? And she said, well, I don't know if I'll get any orders. And I go, that's okay. No foul if we don't get there. Why don't you just give me your name and your email and your phone number, and I'll set up a link for you and I'll let you know. Got her contact information right there from Sam's Club a couple years ago, and then I left the store. Then I went home immediately. 24 to 48 hours is your window of opportunity for following up. And I followed up with her. Now, some of those actually book shows, some don't. Now, you guys are new, so you probably haven't heard of my Chloe story, but I keep trying to recruit Chloe. About, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago, I went into the bookstore, and I have this really cute wallet. They gave out wallets at conference again this year, but see this really cute wallet? Well, it fits a mini catalog right here. Isn't that cute? So I stuff mini catalogs in the front of my wallet, and I take this everywhere I go, and then I stick it right on the counter when I'm using it, and I open it up and I stick it on the counter again. And one of the ladies at the bookstore was like, oh my God, Pampered Chef. My mom loves Pampered Chef. Oh, when was the last time you hosted a show? We have so many new products in our catalog. Would you like me to send you the information? When you see something you like, you call me. Totally non-threatening. I'm not stalking her. She reaches out to me. 99% of the time, people give me their contact information because I am not being aggressive. Okay? When you see something you like, you give me a call. But then you go home and you say, hey, Chloe, it was so nice meeting you at the bookstore. Here's the flyer. You know, let me know if you and your mom would like to get some of the products for free. Now, she had my contact information on those catalogs. It's stamped on everything I have. She could have called me at any time. It took me a little bit more than 2 days to follow up with her because it was Christmas season. Within 10 seconds of getting my email, she responded back, oh my God, I already talked to my mom. We want to book a date for December. So I booked a show with the lady at the bookstore, which ended up being a $1,000 show, and I've done shows with her and her mom for the last 5 years because I met somebody outside of my workplace, outside of my home, doing your everyday stuff. Now, when I'm calling people I know to host a show, or that challenge that I just gave you guys about booking 38 catalog shows for our 38th anniversary, 1 in 10 usually book a party. When it's a stranger or an out and about, it might be 1 in 20, might be 1 in 25. But if you never open your mouth and you never get used to talking about Pampered Chef in a non-threatening, non-aggressive way, it will never come out of your mouth. So let's talk about, let's unmute. You guys can all unmute yourselves. Let's talk about where are some places that you go in a week's time, in a month's time.
Grocery store.
Grocery store. All right. So I'm going to give you some examples of that. Laura Polito will wear her Pampered Chef apron in the grocery store and carry a Season's Best catalog with her and be looking at ingredients as if she's going to get recipes for her Season's Best cookbook. So if you have no bookings on your calendar, you're going to go wander the grocery store whether you need the grocery store or not. And if somebody's buying Kalamata olives or artichoke hearts, you're going to say, oh my gosh, I have a recipe for artichoke hearts. What are you making with yours? I'm making a Pampered Chef recipe. And they might say, oh, I'm just making whatever. But if you say, I'm a Pampered Chef consultant and I'm trying out a new recipe, and they say, oh my God, I love Pampered Chef, what are you guys going to say?
When was the last time you hosted a show?
Yes, Tammy, good job. Exactly. I'd love to send you the specials. When you see something you like, you just give me a shout. And then you mail them, you snail mail them or email them this really great recipe. So grocery store, good job, Linda. What else? Where else do you guys go?
Staples.
Staples.
Your hairdresser.
Hairdressers. Okay, hairdressers know tons of people. People who do shows that know tons of people do really well. So you ask them when you're in there getting your hair cut, if they're, I do business with you. I was wondering if you've ever considered doing business with me. I'm a business owner as well. I do Pampered Chef for a living. Would you be willing to pass a catalog around or leave one in the lobby with some order forms? We'll create a link and we'll put a sticker on the catalog that says to use the link, and we'll use the name of the hair salon in the link. And once we get $200 in orders, you're going to get a free at half price and a 60% off item. Would that be something you'd be willing to do? Now, you're already saying to them, I'm a business owner too. Would you be willing to do business with me? So I'm going to tell you a really funny story, and I know this is recording. It's going to be out there on YouTube, but I've changed my hairdressers like 6 times because if they don't do business with me, anybody can cut curly hair. I'm out of there. I recently, a few years ago, changed my dentist because I've been paying them lots of money for lots of kids over lots of years, and they did no business with me. And I thought, you know what, anybody can clean my teeth. And so I went to a new dentist. Very first time, true story, very first time I parked in the parking lot, it was so packed. I was kind of almost double parked. And I came in and I was in the chair and somebody comes running in and she said, are you the one with the Pampered Chef car out there? And I'm like, yeah, do you need me to move my car? She goes, no, I need a catalog. I need a new can opener. So did I sell her a can opener? No. I got her to book a show to get that can opener for free. Okay. Next year I go in there. I'm asking her how she loves her can opener. 6 months later, she's like, great. We start talking more. I found out her son likes to cook. I'm like, oh my God, he's going to like this new pan. She hosted a show to get her son a professional pan. So she's hosted more than one party with me, my dental hygienist has. So if the people you're spending money with, your doctor's office, your dentist's office, your hairdressers, if they're not spending money with you, unless it's something like, surgery where you really need somebody who's really specialized, anybody can clean your teeth, people. Get a new dentist office. Okay. Staples. Yep. You can talk to the copy people there. You can talk to people. Oh my gosh, I need a new printer. I'm a Pampered Chef consultant and I've been printing all of these recruiting flyers or all of these bonus specials or whatever. Bring it into the conversation and see if they say, I love Pampered Chef. Where else? Restaurant. All right, Christine, you're up. You are the restaurant queen. Give a couple of real life examples of restaurants.
When I first started doing this, I would have my Pampered Chef catalog, and I would have it on the table in front of me, and I would be looking at it while I'm sipping my coffee. And then when the waitress would come over, I would just kind of see her coming, and I would just close the book and leave it to the side, so it didn't look like I was being rude, and I would talk to her. Then she kept coming back to the table, and then she asked about if I was ordering from Pampered Chef or do I sell it. I said, well, I sell it. I ended up booking a party with 2 of the waitresses in that restaurant over a period of time. I've also, 2 others have daughters getting married, and they have all the information for the wedding registry and doing a bridal shower. Those are still coming up. Nothing's been booked yet. But I ended up with 2, an $800 show and a $600 show out of that restaurant.
So just communicating with your servers, and also on the recruiting end of it. New consultants tend not to think about recruiting very often. The number one thing you can do to increase your income without actually leaving your house or working harder is recruit people onto your team organization. because the more organizational sales you have, you can create overrides on all of their sales as well. So right from the get-go, you definitely want to be listening to what they have to say and be ready to have something to say to them. So one of the things I might recommend is when you're talking to somebody at a restaurant, you might want to, I'm just going to mute some of you guys because I hear lots of background here. You may want to say to the waitress, like, oh my gosh, you are really good at customer service. I've really enjoyed what you do. I'm looking for sharp people on my team. Have you ever thought about having additional source of income? And if they say yes, say, I realize you're really busy right now. I'd like to give you my contact information and get your contact information. And how about I give you a call? You know, when do you get off shift? When are you working tomorrow? You know, I'd like to talk to you about whether this might be a good fit for you. And then you can recruit her. Awesome. All right. I'm going to do open mic. If you have a question, hey, Barbara, I'm going to unmute Barbara. Hi, Barbara, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Excellent. You've been so quiet, I'm going to call you out. Is there anything that you can think of, any places that you go to or things that you do that might be good for out and about?
I'm trying to think because I'm one of those people that go to places really early in the morning, so there's not a lot of people. Mm-hmm. The only place I can think of is maybe gym.
The gym? Yep.
Yeah.
I've done shows at Planet Fitness before, healthy cooking shows, doing little displays or tables there. Mm-hmm. So Whole30, paleo, keto, all of those type of things. We got recipes that will fit into all of those recipes for you. So you can offer to print out some recipe cards that have the chicken sweet potato pad thai recipe. That's a really good one for a lot of those people at the gym because it's not a lot of high carbs or sugar. And then ask if you can leave some recipes that, for them, that they can take. Have some printed up on little cards or something like that with your contact information on it. For more great recipes like this, or to earn the products to make this, to earn the Spiralizer for free, contact Barb at blah, 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 blah.
Oh, okay.
Great idea. Post office is one of my favorite. We all go to mail postcards, to mail host packets occasionally, right? So when you go to the post office, you're wearing logo gear. And when they say anything perishable, liquid, blah, 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 you say, no, I'm just mailing out Pampered Chef host packets again. And you say it really loud so that the people in line behind you always ask, oh, do you have an extra catalog on you? And you always carry extra catalogs in when you do that, because I've given out boatloads of those. And Sam's Club filling up for gas has probably been my most lucrative location ever. I joke, I'm just going to park there and pretend to fill up with gas, because I've gotten more people that have come up and knocked on my window. One lady's like, oh my God, my husband is so embarrassing in the car back there, but do you have a catalog? Because we're going to my daughter-in-law's and she doesn't have a decent peeler in her house, and we're going to be there for Thanksgiving. And on the back of my car in November, we were filling out an order form and I'm shipping it to her daughter-in-law down in South Carolina. And another lady bought a digital scale because her husband made maple syrup and they weigh it by weight. And I was talking about that and she was at a show. She goes, oh my God, that was me. I got to meet her 3 years later at a show. She was in the audience of a show when I was telling that story. So you don't know where you're going to meet people. But what I want to challenge you to is be friendly. Have a smile on your face. For God's sake, shower in the morning and don't look frumpy. My mother always taught me, never leave your house wearing anything that you wouldn't want to bump into your husband's ex-girlfriend wearing. So do not go out in your jammies. Do not go out in your sweatpants. Do not go out without makeup if you're always wearing makeup. If you don't wear makeup, then don't be putting it on, but do not leave your house in a manner that is not professional. It's important that you are a business owner and you present yourself as a business owner, because if you run into somebody and they know that you're the Pampered Chef lady and you've just cut them off in traffic, not a good idea. You want to have logos on your car. There are magnetic logos you can get, or you can get the vinyl things that go on your windows. I've been phoned driving down the highway. People have called me. I had one lady wanted to join my team. I said, get off the next exit at Panera. I'll meet you there and I'll give you some information. So smile, be friendly, make a sincere compliment. When you meet somebody, I am, well, I don't know if you can see them, but can you see all my purses back there behind me on that desk? It's like a whole little purse display. I like purses and shoes. That's kind of my thing, okay? So if I see somebody that's got a nice pair of shoes or a great purse or something that I just think is really great, I'll just say, oh my God, those are the cutest shoes ever. Where did you get them? Just a sincere compliment. Start a conversation. I was in the Atlanta airport. Carol Martin is not on this call, but Carol is a new consultant on our team. Laura was at the airport with the cutest piece of luggage, complete stranger in the Atlanta airport, and I struck up a conversation with her because she had this cute luggage, and it was a 31 suitcase, and I was like, oh my God, that's so cute. Do you sell 31? She's like, no, I just love it. I was like, awesome. So I was just carrying a conversation on. I got in line to get some food because I had a layover, and she's like, have you ever eaten here before? I'm like, no. She's like, then come with me, come down here. The food's better down here. So we ended up getting food. We ended up having food and a drink together. We ended up talking. I ended up recruiting her to our team, and she was on our team for a period of time. And I just reached out to her to do a catalog show, virtual show, and that's where I met Carol Martin. And Carol is now a new team member of ours. We're doing her grand opening right now. So where does business come from? It comes from everywhere if you're looking for business. If you treat this business like a business, it will pay you like a business. So, okay. It's 9:22. You guys can all unmute. It's open mic. You can ask anything about out and about, anything about management, time management, organization, anything.
I booked a table at our church for our church fair that's coming up in November.
Oh, so you're definitely going to want to be on next Tuesday night's call because Susie Arugio is doing a whole training next Tuesday night on vendor events. How to book them, how to set them up, what do you do at them, how do you engage with people, all of that. So good job, Ann. Make sure you're on next Tuesday and take notes.
Right, well,
All right. Who else has got a question or comment?
I was on the Pampered Chef product to go and find where you get the bumper stickers and stuff. And I saw that they had the Pampered Chef. I just ordered mine, so I think that's a really good thing to be carrying around. People see that and you're like, oh, where'd you get that from? You know.